Oh wait. Intimacy is the name of that song. And today is called, in case it's confusing, it probably is, I enjoy slightly confusing, I and I of I and I with I am. Because today, on the acronymical prayer rejuvenation, today is I. That's right, by now you probably know what the word is if you go on back. And again, if you know what the word is by now, it's a fun little word game. Leave it in the comments and I will totally congratulate you. Today's I, which stands for insight unto intimacy. Or even insight and intimacy, really, the way the prayer is. So that's why I put I plus I. And that's really obviously designed for you, for me, for really any human being with a soul on the face of this planet. Hence, I and I. Borrowing from Rastafari speak. With, of course, not I and I unto I and I, because then you get on a feedback loop of self, which is destruction. Promise you. The only end of that is destruction. But no, you get on a feedback loop with I am. I and I am. Hope I'm not misusing that. Rastafari, if I'm totally wrong, please forgive a bald head like me. You know, I stumble and bumble-clot through all manner of misinterpretation. This prayer for yourself, and not only for yourself, but praying for others in this way. But more so right now, let's be selfish, and focus on yourself. This is what you are asking God to give you today. Today, guys. Do this today, and this is how your life gets changed. You won't change your life, but this is how He will change your life. Colossians 1, 9 through 10. And then I'll probably read after that, just because it's all good. For this reason, we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to ask that you may be filled with the knowledge of His will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you may walk worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing Him, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God. So, more or less, I mean, it's a little bit of that same W thing of worthiness, but come on in! So it's also a little bit on the W day, but it's actually into the I and I today is more kind of the same thing, but it's also like that asking and that requesting to sort of be brought in on the thing you're always would love to be aware of, as opposed to kind of feeling swept along by, because I think in general we always feel swept along by life, and we don't necessarily have that much control over it, and we don't really have any control over it whatsoever, except kind of ourselves, but even that, as we know, we're rather a slave to instinct or desire, or often even other people's desires for us become our desires for ourselves. So in this, you're not only asking for those desires to be replaced and swapped out, but also just how to be like intimately aware. And this is the same thing. A lot of these are about really praying for like ultra mega superhero consciousness, where you're literally aware of why you're doing everything in every moment, and that not becoming a maddening schizophrenic burden, but a joyful thing, that you would know why you're doing everything and why you're moving in everything, and that everything would be something blessed and not just another way for you to work out what you've lost or what you are in loss of. You know what I mean? So much of what we do is is to gain that, is to gain what we don't have. And sometimes, and a lot of times we'll then scramble to do those things and get those things to fill the holes that we can never really fill, because again, it's like a temporal problem and we're trying to find a temporal solution for a temporal reflection of an eternal problem. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So that's what we're praying for today. It's just that insight into intimacy. Let me know what to look for. Let me know how to look for it. And B, let me know how to get out of your way in order to integrate you in every facet of my life. Not only just like in the general quote unquote everything, but they kind of broke it down in this thing in a way that I kind of dug. Because they brought up things that I would never really think of. Bless you, and bless you. Some that I wouldn't even think of, not because I don't think they're part of life or that they're not a God part of life, but just I don't really think about these things in general. The prayer says, give me wisdom on how to walk in intimacy with you in every area of my life, including, and that's actually, before I even get into it, thing I also like about what this is asking of us, what God's asking of us in this, is not to pray for like success or clarity or even necessarily wisdom in and of ourselves in these things, but literally just to walk in intimacy, really therefore removing, really kind of almost going all the way through into removing faith, certainly removing all fear, and then really removing more and more of ourselves from everything that we do, even as we're all the more present in the fulfillment of the trueness of ourselves and what we're doing. You know what I mean? In every area of my life, including my finances, that's one I just don't think of that much. I just surrender and don't even talk about it. Schedule, emotions, circumstances, physical body, that's another one I leave off the plate. Relationships in the home, office, if you have an office. I don't really have an office. I have people I work with. Karen Foreman right over there. And ministry, if you have that going on. And if you don't, get it going on. What are you doing? Share with the world. Help the world. Heal the world. My future, fears, addictions, etc. Let me know the secrets of your heart. And that's it too, I guess. I mean, because a lot of times I think it's easy to pray for, let me know the secrets of my heart. Like, help me figure out what I really want. Which is a nice first step, but it's baby steps, and let's get past that, and let's be praying for, tell me what you really want. Again, keeping our energy as often as possible focused out. Focus out. Like this. See? Like that. Peace be unto you. Be unto you. Let me know how this is going, P.S. If you're following along, if any of these things are especially rooted in distraction or are tricky for you, or if some of them are just bountiful blessing, holler at me. Amen and Selah.
Done!